At American Heroes Outdoors, it's truly about the stories that we get to share. Whether those stories are in the woods or on the water, or just sitting around a fire like this, it's stories of service and sacrifice that set us apart. So joining up with SCHEELS to create SCHEELS Hometown Heroes a couple years ago was a perfect fit. Over the past 2 years, we've been able to create over 25 stories of service and sacrifice of people in their communities that served either in law enforcement, as a first responder, in the military, and are still serving today. These are true stories of small town USA people, and it's really been an honor. So today, we're going to take a trip down memory lane and revisit some of our best SCHEELS Hometown Heroes yet.
Welcome to SCHEELS Hometown Heroes.
SCHEELS Hometown Heroes is a way for us to say thanks
to those that serve our country and our community
and are still giving back to others today.
We honor your service by sharing your stories.
From all of us at SCHEELS, thank you for your service.
I always wanted to join the military, but then when I was 17, I had a recruiter in the house. My side of the papers were signed, but then since it was shortly after Desert Storm, Desert Shield, like my mom came in and said, no, it's not happening. Kicked the recruiter out. You know, just getting in nature, you get to, forget, daily life for a while. If you do it enough, then you're able to get on with life.
My name is Mark Hawley. I was born outside the country and I was raised in the United States from the time that I was a baby. And I always knew that though. I always knew that I was adopted. I always knew that I was from Colombia. And I also was raised with a lot of just pride of ownership and also gratitude too. So I think it was out of that gratitude that I felt that I wanted to do something to repay the United States for all the opportunities that have been given me. And that's why I decided to join the Marines.
You asked my wife what I am. I'm a public servant. That's what I do. I've been very successful in just about everything I've done. And I need to give that to I need to give that opportunity to other people. It's what makes me tick, I guess. I can't put a figure on it. It's just how it works for me.
My name is Janie Scala. I was born in Devils Lake, North Dakota. I moved to Fargo when I was 6 years old, and this has become my home since then. I have complex chronic PTSD. What that means is chronic is ongoing. So it's not like one day I have it and one day I don't. Complex means it's from several traumas. So I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there was lots of incidents there that happened. So that's where the PTSD comes from.
When I was 12 years old running the farm, I decided there ought to be something better than the hot, humid climate of Kansas. So I went in the living room one day waiting for dinner to be served and looked at this fancy book about the mountains of Colorado in the Northwest and what it would be like to be a ranger. That's for me, I said.
I was born in Mankato and I grew up and was raised in St. James, Minnesota. Back then we liked to go out and play Army out in the yard, and it kind of just stuck, and it was something I knew I wanted to do. And as soon as I was able to, I went in and enlisted in the Army National Guard here in Minnesota.
I enlisted a couple days after my 18th birthday as a helicopter repairman. Attended basic training at Fort McClellan, advanced individual training at Fort Rucker. After a couple years of going out on test flights and encouragement from pilots, I went to flight school.
I grew up down in Canton, South Dakota, a small town about 20 miles south of Sioux Falls. Grew up around flying around airplanes. My dad flew skydivers for years in a skydiving club, and he was also a charter commercial pilot for a while before he started the family business. My grandfather on my mom's side was a pilot during World War II. He was a civilian flight instructor. So that's where the flying bug came from. So I kind of grew up around airplanes and
Born and raised in Dilworth. Grew up in Dilworth, Minnesota. Been there the majority of my life, and proud to say that that's my hometown. I deployed to Bosnia. I was in Bosnia as a part of Operation S414, where we did security patrols, a lot of community engagement.
Born and raised Little Falls. Lived here my whole life. I actually just recently moved to Rice about 3 years ago. Still really local. Still work out at camp.
Did you go into the service right out of school?
About 2 years after, 2010.
Okay.
Yep.
Army?
Yep.
Awesome.
Army National Guard.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yep.
Where have you served, or where have you been deployed?
Deployed to Kuwait, there for about 11 and a half months. We ran missions through Iraq, kind of bring everything home.
Say, where are you from? I usually just stay around here, because, I'm Ada,
Valley City, so I mean from this area for sure. And so when I was growing up, my dad is a police officer, godfather as the sheriff, and another godfather as a game warden. It was like, I better be good.
Hi, I'm LYLE Sinclair with the Bismarck Police Department, Bismarck, North Dakota. I'm currently a patrol supervisor in charge of our canine program.
That guy, come out of the woods! We'll send my dog, he's gonna bite you!
I got out of boot camp. Well, I went in August, September, October. About the later part of October, I got into Camp Pendleton. When I got on board ship, I got on with one of the Navy Seabees.
Family life was mom and dad, and there was 5 boys in the family. My hero? A lot of people. There's not just one. It's too hard for me. Every officer, there's names on the wall. Every pin that I have in that plaque, their families. Several of our Special Olympic athletes. My wife, my kids, my dad. Not any just one person.